and welcome to Beyond the Grid podcast. I'm your host, Keisha Davis. My first guest is Nneka Allison, aka Miss T, and she's a super creative hairstyle originally from West London who has a special fondness for all things 90s. Nneka's Instagram is called HoochTeeStyles, and it features a collection of her incredible work, which is like walking down memory lane for me, and it features iconic black girl looks like the mullet, finger waves, pin curls, updos. Nneka, thank you so much for joining me. How are you feeling today?
I feel great. The sun is shining.
Yes.
It's been, can't add to a beautiful day. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, I feel great, to be honest. I feel very blessed,
Awesome. It's
very
good
blessed
to hear.
indeed.
So I first came across your page maybe about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I
Yeah.
was like hooked instantly. It features, as I mentioned in the intro, like those iconic 90s looks, and it's just so
Yeah.
vibrant and full. I can just feel the energy coming off your page.
Mm,
And we've been having
hmm
conversations, on, direct message and so forth,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
why this interview has happened.
hmm
I'm really fascinated. And you know what's good about this as well? I am learning about you from scratch. I think
Yeah.
upcoming guests, I will have, some familiarity with them because they're going to be a lot of my peers that I'm going to be
Yeah.
inviting
Yeah.
on. But I'm learning about you from scratch. So it's even more exciting. So
Mm.
my first question is, tell us a bit about your background. Where were you born and where did you grow up? Because I understand you live in, is it Birmingham now you live?
Yeah, so I live in Birmingham. So I grew up in West London, Shepherd's Bush, to be exact. So I grew up from a Caribbean background, half Trinidadian, half Jamaican. So you can only imagine the the versatility in hairstyles and clothing that my family used to be running with from when I was a child, and just seeing that growing up as a teenager, going into my adult stage, it was just amazing, You look at certain things and you're seeing your aunties rocking certain hairstyles and you're just like, oh my gosh, how did you go out like that? I want to do that. And you're too young to do it, but you're just so fascinated with looking at it. And yeah, like I actually studied hairdressing in college,
Okay.
but it wasn't the style that I do. It was just a basic, level two hairdressing with Caucasian hair. And to be honest, it's so funny because I actually didn't want to be a hairdresser.
Okay.
I didn't want to be a hairdresser when I was in my teenage. I didn't even know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I just know I had to pick something in college and I just ran with it. But I was always creative at home, you know, um, just going to Housden High Street, picking up the little bundles of £1 coloured hair and just going home and just creating whatever styles I can create out of that. And yeah, I've always been creative in that sense.
Amazing. So it's interesting to hear that because I've interviewed loads of hairdressers, and a
Yeah.
common thread is they have loved hair from they were quite young. They were like doing their little sister's hair or their
Mm,
fellow classmates in school.
yeah.
You're saying, was your story similar, or was it just a case of I was creative and this just happened to be an outlet that I kind of
Yeah, it was more of an outlet. I mean, my growing up childhood, it wasn't always the greatest. And I always think that hairdressing and just being creative in general, whether that was making clothes, like I used to cut clothes and sew them by hand because I never had a sewing machine. And I just always just outlet my mood out of my hair. I used to come to school with a pink fringe and then I'll get told off and I'll come back the next day with a purple one. So I really used to just test the waters of how far I could take it.
yeah.
But I've always just loved hair. Always.
Awesome. Okay, so you've kind of mentioned you've answered one of my questions, which was how you got started. So you explained that you
Mm,
were creative and you ended up doing level 2 hairdressing. So we have to
yeah,
talk about, obviously, with HoochTeeStyles, there's a huge emphasis on 90s
yeah,
hairstyle. So you mentioned
yeah,
that you're a 90s baby. So I am curious
yeah.
to know, what is the fascination with 90s?
It's just when you think about 90s, for me personally, I know. everybody else probably gets the same feeling. When you think about 90s hair or just 90s culture in general, it just makes you feel happy. It makes you feel like a teenager. It makes you feel like a kid. It just makes you think about good memories.
Yeah.
Anytime I think about 90s stuff, I just think about good things.
Yeah.
And that always can just take me through my day, through my week. I might see a hairstyle that I come across on the internet and I'll be like, oh, I remember my aunt used to have that. And then another memory will come off of that, me
Yeah.
seeing that hairstyle. So it's just always been fascinating, and just to see like iconic videos and movies. Dancehall Queen, that was
Mm.
the first movie that I watched where I actually saw crazy hairstyles.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, wow, this is mad. I've never seen anything like this before. And it was just like a statement,
Yeah.
you know. You look at certain hairstyles and you think of Dancehall Queen, or you'll think of Friday, or you'll think of Players Club. Like, you'll think of those iconic movies, and I think that it's just put a stamp on it. It will just never be anything else apart from that. It will always have its own group.
Yeah.
You can't get better than that, to be honest.
Absolutely. So what made you then, because as you said, we all have that fondness, those who I grew up in that era, and even though I must
Yeah.
admit I wasn't that, I know I posted a picture of me and my bestie with my
Yeah, yeah,
it's like no girl the finger waves, but I was a bit more conservative with my hair, even though I always
yeah.
admired those, as you said, those bright colours from the dancehall
Yeah, yeah,
queens
yeah.
and the likes of. So what
Hmm.
made you decide, okay, not only do I love this era, but I'm going to create a business around celebrating the styles that came out of that era?
Well, you know what? It was my personality can be quite impulsive. So even though I was the Instagram that I've got now, I was always posting 90s posts and throwback posts, early 2000s. That was the stuff that I would be posting from the start. But then when I decided to go to a 90s party from a certain event,
Mm,
something, I don't know what it was, but I know it was God talking to me, and he was
mm,
like, you need to do something big. So I literally got my girls together and I said, I want us to be dressed the same, and I want to showcase my hairstyles.
wow.
And that was literally the soft launch of HoochTeeStyles. I literally got them together. We had a group chat. I said, I want us doing denim on denim. I want us to go with the Freaknik theme. And
Amazing.
I actually came across the green hairstyle. You know, the green
Mm,
hairstyle that you've seen,
yep.
the iconic one. That hairstyle actually came across from a lady, Cherry J, who's a big hairstylist in Chicago. And I actually came across that hairstyle from TikTok from one of her clients. And I reached out to her and I said, I wish you was in London. Like, well, I really want you to do this hairstyle. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. Don't know how I'm gonna pull it off. And she was just like, let me know how you get on. I was like, okay. So I was studied the picture. I literally studied it, because these iconic 90s hairstyles, they don't have tutorials.
Yeah.
There's no
True.
tutorials. There's no, step by step. It's literally, you'll see the front and you have to work out how it is at the back.
Yeah.
Like, that's exactly how it is.
Mhm.
So I literally studied that picture for about a week, and then I did it. First try, didn't attempt it. Like, it was literally the first try I did it, and I was like, wow, because that was the first hairstyle that I did where it was so technical,
Yeah.
and I didn't know that I could do it, and I underestimated myself.
Yeah.
And literally, when I went to that event, everybody was staring at my hair. They were like, "Who did your hair? Who did
Yeah.
your hair?" I was like,
Yeah.
"I did it. I did it. I did it." And that was literally the
This
start of HoochTeeStyles. Styles. Literally,
amazing.
I felt it in my body that something big was gonna happen and big things was gonna come, because soon as I put that picture of the four of us
Yeah.
dressed in all denim and denim, opportunities started coming
Wow.
back and forth, and like creativeness, just creative people
Yeah.
who are like-minded like me started coming into my path, and I'm like, no, this is God. This is 100%. This is God.
Amazing. And how long ago was that?
Timing. This was in April.
Are you serious?
This was in April. So
Oh
I literally,
wow.
I went to the event in April. It
Yeah.
was at the start. I think it was about the 15th, and then literally about 3 weeks after that, I said, no, I want a business. So the first thing I did was bought my salon chair, and ever since the salon chair, I was buying things one by one, boom, 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 boom.
Wow.
And then by the end of May, I did my salon.
Yep.
It was finished, everything was done. Um, and I literally got it done, all done in about a month and a half, and managed to put out my website as well. I did everything. The turnover was so quick,
That is
so quick,
amazing. See, I
so
think
quick.
the lesson there is to, as you said, and I think we all have, especially as creative people. I know I definitely have loads of amazing ideas. And if you think about it too much, you tend to talk yourself out of it. So I think the lesson there for anyone watching this or listening to this is to just go. If you feel something within your soul, just go for it. So tell me about, because I know you have some really exciting things coming up. You've got Nottingham Carnival. You're going to New York.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was, this is what I mean. Like, everything happens for a reason. Nothing ever happens on accident. And the first client that I actually had, believe it or not, was Ivory and Doll. That was my first
Wow.
client. He reached out to me, and I didn't even have my salon wasn't even finished yet. I hadn't even put out my website, and that was my first client that
Wow.
I actually got for HoochTeeStyles. And I was like, whoa, this is big.
Yeah.
And then when I did her music video, opportunities started coming along, and then that's when I decided I'm gonna go to America.
Yeah.
And it was so weird because last year I was saying to myself, I want to relocate. I want to move to America. I don't know how I'm going to do it. How am I going to move? How am I going to do this? And like, how am I going to survive?
Yeah.
And my friend was like, you need a hustle to survive in America.
Yeah.
And look, now I've opened HoochTeeStyles, and that is what's going to take me to America. That's
Exactly.
what's going to take me there. So it's like everything happens. Timing is so
Yeah.
important. Timing is so important. So from that music video, I've got America planned. So I'm doing my official HoochTeeStyles photo shoot in Brooklyn.
Amazing.
And I've got my model who's actually an artist in New York, Raja. And she's verified on Instagram. And again, I actually came to pass with her from the Ivorian Doll
Okay.
video, and she followed me, and she was like, "I love your work.
Yeah.
Nobody does this in New York. No one's doing
Yeah.
this right now."
Which is crazy
Um,
because, yeah.
it's more. I was really surprised at that
Yeah.
because I was like, hold on a second, these are hairstyles that you lot was rocking. How is
Yeah.
this nobody doing
Yeah.
it? And she said, no, no one really does it here. It's
Wow.
all clean girl aesthetic. You know,
That's true. Yeah.
the sewings, just the clean girl look, and
Yeah.
it's more of a southern hairstyles that I do. It's more southern styles. So
Okay.
Atlanta, that's where I would see a lot of these kind of hairstyles, and they're still doing it now.
Right.
So she said you would make a killing here. So I've got that coming up
Yeah.
on the 6th of September,
Yeah.
and I'm actually going to be going to New York Carnival as well. So I'm going to be
Amazing.
showcasing one of my hairstyles, and I haven't even told anybody what hairstyle I'm going to be putting out, but it's going to be absolutely
Yeah.
crazy, crazy.
Yeah. Don't any
Bringing like a new school
secrets.
flavor with
Keep it
it,
all.
with the old schoolness, because I'm going to be bringing out
Yeah.
like designs. Yeah, I'm going to
Amazing.
be bringing out stencil designs on the hair in the autumn. So that's going to be very exciting. And I just thought, you know what? When it comes to certain businesses, everybody has their business cards and stuff. But I'm like, I am my business card.
Yeah.
I am the face of HoochTeeStyles. So I'm going to be showcasing one of my freestyle hairstyles at the carnival. And yeah, just
Amazing.
my main focus was to just put my name on the New York map,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna do just that. So I've got that planned, and then obviously I've got the Notting Hill Carnival pop up, which is
Yeah.
coming up, end of the month as well. So two major things happening in the same week, basically.
Exactly. And what better places, like you said, Notting Hill Carnival. And I know the New York, is the West, what's it called again? The West Indian
Labor Day.
Parade or Labor Day Parade. Yeah, in New
Yeah, yeah,
York.
yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah.
I
So
was,
it's I just couldn't think of any other better place than to showcase my hairstyles than Notting Hill Carnival.
absolutely.
Um, and just to expand, because I'm still a small business, I'm still
Yeah.
growing. And
Yeah.
there's still a lot of people that haven't even came across me. Like, remember when you came across my page and you was like, I wish I came across you before.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's literally the same thing for a lot of people. So I thought, let me just try and expand a bit,
Yeah.
try and get myself out there and just build up the clientele. But
Yeah.
the way how social media is, it's not going to be that hard before I start getting recognized everywhere. It's, you
Absolutely.
know,
Because as you said,
consistency.
we have the interest, because everyone, not just your generation, but my generation,
Yeah,
because I think you
cool.
came across my picture because I attended my friend's 90s
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
50th
Mhm,
birthday
mhm.
party and stuff, and we were all kind of reliving that time. So it's only a matter of time, because I personally feel
Mm,
everything goes in cycles. So we've had the natural hair movement, which is still ongoing. As you said, we have the clean girl aesthetic, and I think things will also go back to us celebrating that creativity and that over the top glam
mhm,
that we got through the 90s. So I foresee that coming
mhm.
back in fashion too. Without giving away too much of your trade secrets, do you use the old school, the barrel, the Marcel barrel and the spritz? Do you use the old school products and
Yeah,
methods from back
yeah,
in the day too?
y- yeah,
Really?
yeah. So one thing that I said about HoochTeeStyles, it's not only just the hairstyles that I want to be bringing back, it's the methods of hair that I'm doing and the products that I'm using as well. So even though there is a lot of products that are not around anymore in the UK,
Yeah.
um, for black
Right.
hair, the ones that I can get a hold of, I'm 100% using. But this is why I've used the New York trip as well, because I'm going to be bringing back a lot of products that we can't
Products.
even get here anymore. And um,
Yeah.
I just want to just bring back the whole 90s experience alone, not just the hairstyles. Um, that's why, when you come into my salon, you've got the you've got the books with the black hair, so you can just have a read through. You've got
Yeah.
the hip hop culture is very much alive in this salon,
Yeah.
playing a lot of 90s music, just putting you in that mood.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, like I've just thought, you know what? Nobody's doing this at the moment.
Mhm.
Everyone's kind of doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be like that. I want to bring back creativeness. I want to bring back
Yes.
fun into hair. I want to
Yeah.
bring back just being yourself, not having to worry about whether I fit into one little circle.
Yeah.
I just want to just bring all of that back. Because I just feel like when I look at Instagram and I see a lot of the black hairstyles and they're great, but
Yeah.
they all look the same. There's
Very
about
sameish.
5,000
Yeah.
stylists that do the same thing, and
Yeah.
when I'm doing the hairstyles that I can do, these are not easy hairstyles either. You have to have a certain hand to even pull these off and it look great.
Yeah.
So I'm already in my own lane
Yeah.
from that alone. So yeah, it's just fun. It's just
Yeah.
fun and I think as you said, it's not just one generation. This is really going off for all generations and it would be nice to have a clientele from girls that are 18 to women that are in their 50s,
Yeah.
60s. Like that's what I really love. I just want to bring that whole unity back together. I just love black culture, man.
Absolutely. And who is your typical clientele at the moment?
Like my typical clientele is like I would say age ranging from about 29 to about 35 ish.
Okay.
But I think that goes down to social media because I know a lot of the older women and the older generation, they're not going to be active on Instagram and
Mm.
TikTok. Their main focus is going to be Facebook.
Yeah.
So I have to kind of work around how I can reach them as
Yeah.
well. So that's why I'll be creating a Facebook page for Hootsie Styles so I
Brilliant.
can get
Yeah.
them as well on board. Because I know like, the older generation, a lot of them they don't really know how to use social media and a lot of them are not even interested in social media. So I don't even blame them. So I just want to just reach out to everyone.
Yeah.
Um and I want to also just bring back, just the handing out the flyers. You're going to an event and you're handing out your flyers,
Yeah.
you go to a barbecue and you're handing out flyers. But I want to bring back that interaction with in personness. Like,
Yes.
I don't want it to just
Agree.
be so online and just so sticking to Instagram and Twitter. That's why I
Mhm.
actually did the website, because I wanted it to go back to basics and kind of strip it back a bit. Uh,
Yeah,
and even just the layout of my website, you look at it and you just screams 90s. You just look
it
at it,
does.
it's bright, it's bold, it's in your face, it's raw. And
Yeah,
I just post what I want to post on there. I post stuff that I want to see on there, and
yeah,
I know that other people want to see, and it's still on brand, you know. So yeah, I just want to bring back fun.
yeah.
That's how my
It is.
personality is. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you're right. It's like I think life has been so heavy over like the last
Yeah.
4 or 5 years, and
Yeah. hundred
that's
percent.
yeah, and that's one thing why I think there is such a gravitation towards like 80s and 90s culture because even
Mm.
though we had
Mhm.
our problems, life is always going to be
Oh,
life in,
100%.
but we really knew how to, all right, then we've worked for the week, let's go out and enjoy ourselves. I
Yeah.
think it's really missing. And I think that's why,
Yeah.
all generations feel that energy and they gravitate
Yeah.
towards that era.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
No,
that's
hundred
really
percent.
interesting.
I I think as well, like when just jumping off at the point that you made about, life being so heavy over the last couple of years, I think
Mm,
when people kind of get into that mindset of just being used to things not going the right way,
yes,
it it just becomes such a drag. Everything
yes,
becomes so negative and just so dull, and oh, I have to get up this morning. But
yeah,
I just want to bring back positiveness, just making you
yes,
feel good. You know what I mean? And I know for a fact, anytime a woman gets her hair done, whether she's black, white, or whatever, she feels 10 out of
good.
10. 100%. Like she can take her mood from a 0 all the way up
Yeah,
to a 10, and that's gonna make her whole week go
yeah,
great. So yeah, that's just the vibe that I want to bring back, and I feel like I've just got good feelings about HoochTeeStyles. I can just feel HoochTeeStyles going clear, absolutely clear.
absolutely. Yeah, I did too. Hence why you're here. You're my first guest. So I want to get you here before you get, too booked and busy to spare me a little time.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's crazy though, because it's like I put out HoochTeeStyles in June. June the 17th was when I officially opened up the salon. And
Wow.
it's like since I've been seeing social media, the French rolls are coming back, the pigtails are all coming, all of these 90s hairstyles are all coming back in full
Yep.
circle, and it will keep happening like that. It might be trending for now, and then it might die down a bit, but it
Yeah.
always comes back. And 90s hairstyles is something that will never ever go away. It will
Away.
always come back, whether it's a stripped back version or a crazy version or a catwalk version.
Yeah.
These editorial companies, they love to jump off you know, the
Certain
90s
trend.
hairstyles
Yeah.
and make it more fashiony. So it
Yeah.
will never ever come out of trend. It will never come out of style, and
It
that's
won't.
one thing that I love about
Yeah.
90s hairstyles for sure.
I predict, and I said this to my hairdresser because I was asking her to do a flip for me the other day. She's like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's not wearing again. I'm like, yes, it's going to come back. It's going
Yes,
to
it
come back.
is. 100% is
It's
going
come
to
back.
come back.
Yeah.
I'm telling
Yeah.
you.
It's coming
I'm
back
telling you.
strong. I really,
It's
really foresee that.
it's all coming back, man,
Yeah.
and I love to see it. And you know what? It's also the way how my website is as well. There's also some culture info to it as well. So I've got
Mm.
on my about page, I've got a few videos below of like some old school clips of some old school black movies. So I've got one from Friday,
Yeah.
um, when she's walking out the car with her braids and she's
Yeah.
like, and then I've got a scene from Players Club, and then I've got a scene from Dancehall Queen, and it's just like, for people that don't know anything about 90s hairstyles or just don't really know much about black culture as well, I wanted to
Yeah.
kind of give them some information and some insight
Yeah.
without being too overbearing with the
Yeah.
information. So I kind of just, even though my main focus is black culture, there is going to be people outside of black culture that are going to be interested in HoochTeeStyles.
Yeah.
Styles. So I just kind of wanted to give them a bit of insight into it without being
Absolutely.
overbearing,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah,
Especially as well for younger people who might like the aesthetics but not know much,
exactly, exactly,
context behind it.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I just think it's important because if I don't I mean, my generation, I think, is the last generation that actually knows about these kind of hairstyles. Anything
Yeah,
after that, they don't really know about it. So
yeah,
I think it's very important to keep that information going when it comes to these kind of hairstyles and just black culture in general, certain things that I'm seeing the new generation, they're saying that it's old school, but this was just only in my year. So I'm thinking I feel old now. They
think how
they
I
they
feel.
I saw a video of this girl and she had a Jane Norman bag and she was like, "Oh yeah, this is vintage." I'm like, "What?
Think
This is
how I
right.
feel, who, as I said, lived
Wow.
through that era. That 90s was my, formative years and my prime years. So I feel
Yeah.
ancient when people are like, oh, yeah, back in the old days, this is how they used to do it. It's
I
crazy.
just I
It,
just feel like I just 90s and just everything about the 90s was great. The events, the
yeah,
clubs, there's so many clubs from the 90s that are not even around
not
no
even
more.
there.
And, you
Clothes shops,
know,
as you mentioned,
literally clothes shops, TV shows. There was
shows,
a TV show that
films.
I came, literally filmed everything. There was
Yeah,
a TV show that I actually came across, and I remember speaking to my mum a couple of months ago about it. And I'm a lover of house music. My mum's loved the house music, and there was a TV show. I don't know what it's called, but I think it was in Wembley. It was filmed in Wembley, and it was like they used to dance. They had
Dance
like
Unity? Is it Dance?
yeah,
Yes,
I think so.
yes.
It was on MTV
Was it on
or was it
TV?
the
Okay, I think,
BBC or was it
yeah,
BBC?
I think
Yeah,
Dance Energy
yeah,
was
yeah,
too. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And I was just like, I never knew that London was this fun. Like, what happened to it?
London was amazing growing, and that's the thing. And I really believe, and I'm not even trying to get too heavy.
Yeah,
That is why a lot of they talk about mental health crisis with younger people. I really
mm,
do attribute it to that lack of togetherness that we just took for granted, like
yeah. There
doing
was
at house parties, hanging out. Not to say they
honestly,
don't do it, but because so much life is lived online, where you
yeah,
don't really
yeah,
have real, authentic connection.
yeah.
Um, I feel that they feel a bit lost and
Hundred
isolated.
percent. Hundred
And
percent.
yeah,
Like I, some of the stuff that I used to see because I follow a lot of like pages on Instagram that post a lot of like old school stuff from how London was and that. And when I'm seeing events like Fun City in Coliseum and
yes,
I'm just like this looks so fun. What
yeah,
happened? Like
yeah,
all the funness has just gone,
on,
completely
yeah,
gone. And just everyone just looked happier, like
yeah,
genuinely happy, not even just because they were out, but they
yeah.
genuinely looked happy.
Yeah,
Um,
really, really. And I was saying this, I can't remember who it was, to a younger person. I'm like, I lived through both eras, so I'm able to compare
yeah,
and say, yeah, we had our, because people always like, yeah, you say you was happy, but you had this going on. And,
yeah, 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 yeah,
you kind of just live your life through
yeah, yeah, exactly,
social and political problems that are happening. You just continue to live your
exactly,
life. Whereas I think there's so much
exactly.
fixation on what's going on around the world. Not to say that you shouldn't
Hmm.
pay attention to it, but it
Of
shouldn't
course,
be all consuming to the point where you're not living
yeah.
your life and enjoying your life.
Yeah, I think that's I feel like a lot of people, including myself sometimes, where I've been so contained in
Mm,
whatever badness is happening around me, I kind of just
yeah,
lose the funness in
yeah,
life and I'm just become too serious
yeah,
and I just want to bring back that, having good balance,
yeah,
healthy balance, because I feel like a lot of the time there's just not a good balance and it's more
exactly.
it's more bad than good. So I
Yeah,
just bring back that funness and that just vibrant, you
yeah,
know.
yeah. And as I said, I definitely feel that. So my next question is, what are your three favorite hairstyles from the era? And it could be just a hairstyle, it could be from a film or music
Yeah,
video. What are your three like iconic looks?
I'm gonna have to say. So I like, even though I love New York. The two cities that I love from America are New York and Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta, New Orleans, like that whole southern part of America, they wore the hell out of a waterfall, a waterfall
Oh, what's a waterfall?
ponytail. So where you see, oh, it's actually on my page actually. You know where you got like bits of hair and they stick it up, it just sticks
Oh,
like
yes.
they, yeah,
Yeah. That's
like
waterfall.
that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It just stays like that, and that to me is just so bold. Like
Yeah.
you see somebody with that, whether they got like a short little pixie and they've got like some long bits that are sticking out like that. That's
Yeah.
just so bold. Like you have to be a certain person to pull that off.
So true.
Honestly, I just love it so much. That's probably my first one.
Mhm.
I love a swoop pink cow look. Like a swoop pink cow look, it just screams 90s. It screams
Yeah.
90s, screams 2000s. It's so timeless. You can either dress it up or you can make it look ratchet. It's literally one of the two.
Hmm.
And also pink curls. I just for some reason lots of pink curls on her hair. It just looks so creative.
Yeah.
Like, and it just looks nice as well. Like it can just soften up a person's face. It can
Yeah.
just make them look extra. Um, so I definitely love a pink curl hairstyle. And probably the third one is a claw ponytail. Which is basically it's a ponytail. You split it up, and then what you do, you kind of split it into sections,
Okay.
and you pin curl the big section, and you kind of fan it out of your hand, and you split it
Hmm.
onto the head,
Okay.
and you've got like little bits like that. But it's very technical,
Yeah. That one
very
sounds
very tech.
technical.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
very tech. It's kind of similar to the one that I did with the green hair,
Okay.
the
Hmm.
official HoochTeeStyles. Yeah, it's kind of similar to that, but there's
Yeah.
different variations of it. So
Yeah.
and again, these are all hairstyles that I've seen from like the southern part of America in the 90s. Um, there's actually one picture that's in my salon, and I've actually got it on my Instagram as well, where it's the picture of the ladies,
Hmm.
the group of ladies. And it's like a massive portrait that I've got in the
Okay.
salon, and one of the ladies has actually got a claw hairstyle, which is very
Right.
nice.
Right.
So yeah, those are probably like my three favorites actually. But it's crazy because a lot of people don't even know what the names of them are. They just know what it looks like.
Yep.
They look like I was the same too.
Yeah.
The Terry J stylist from Chicago, when I was
Uh-huh.
explaining to her the hairstyles that I love, and she was telling me the proper names of them, and even that, when I go to New York, I'm actually flying to Chicago for a day and I'm gonna go
Okay.
and meet her. So we're
Hmm.
gonna go and collab and because I said to her, look, I've literally came across you from TikTok and she's from the older generation. She doesn't really she's getting better at it because I've
Yeah.
actually been helping her with social media and like putting her videos together, making sure they
Hmm.
catch an eye and stuff. Because even she was saying, coming from a as a hairstylist that was actually doing hair in Freaknik in the
Wow.
90s, it's it's crazy to see that her hairstyles are going around, but nobody knows who's done them.
Yeah.
And there's people that are copying them, but they're not
Yeah.
given credit. And
Hmm.
that's just due to because there wasn't social media
Didn't know.
then.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
wasn't no filming
No.
24/7. It was She literally just used to say to me, if you wanted to get your stuff known, you would have to put it on a tape and it
Yeah.
will get sent around and or put it on a DVD and it will get sent around. That's how people used to, or word of mouth. That's how
Hmm.
people used to like, get their business out there. So
Yeah.
I'm helping her with social media and she said that she's gonna help me with teaching me step by step
Techniques.
how to do these old school hairstyles that I
Yeah.
can see on the pictures, but I just generally don't know how to do them.
Yeah.
So she's gonna literally sit with me for the whole day. She's booked out our salon for the whole day and we're just gonna just do hair. So
Amazing. And what's her name
yeah,
that we can
like
let people know
her
who
name
she
is Terry J. Terry J.
Kerry.
Yeah,
Kerry
Terry
J.
J. Terry J.
Terry J. Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, J. Yeah. And she's based in Chicago. And when she was showing me some of the pictures of the hairstyles that she's done, I was just like, yeah, you're the real deal. You're literally the
Yeah.
real deal. So it's gonna be very fun and mesmerizing as well because Freaknik has got a big influence on HoochTeeStyles, and
Yeah.
with you know collabing and getting mentored by a hairstylist that was actually doing hair in
Yeah.
Freaknik. That's a big deal. That's a very big deal. So I'm actually looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Very much
Oh,
looking
you
forward to
must
it.
document it and let us see what's
Oh,
going on
100%.
and
And
share.
I'll be videoing it from the start to the finish
Yeah.
because it's something to put. This is memories. Like when I do get big and when I do go clear, this is gonna be the woman who I'm gonna be like, she's gonna
Yeah.
be in my documentary.
Yeah. Yeah.
my docu bio, and props to her, because even though we're so far away from each other, she still managed to mentor me. When I
Yeah.
was putting out certain hairstyles, she was like, "You're doing great. Just tighten up on the pigtails. Do it this
Right.
way. Hiding the pins, learning how to hide the pins and stuff." She's been teaching me how to do that, and it's just nice because I know how in the hair industry or in the beauty industry alone, it can be very competitive,
Yeah.
and a lot of the time, people don't want to help you. They
Yeah.
if they can see that you're gonna get further than them, they
Yeah.
don't want to help you.
That's true.
So I think also, because she's coming from a different generation, she actually wants to
Yeah.
help me. She can see
Like
that
mentorship. Yeah.
yeah, like she can see I'm gonna get far, and she wants to be a part of that. And I
Yeah.
think also for her, you know, helping a stylist back from the UK when she's never been to the UK,
Hmm.
it's a big deal for her as well, because she was saying to me that she's scared that her work is not traveling. But it has traveled because it's got to me. It's
Yeah.
definitely got to me. So it's good for her as well. So it's just about
Yeah.
helping each other, like sisterhood again, you know. And I just feel like a lot of hairstylists, I just wish a lot of hairstylists were more like that. Because again, when it comes to certain things, you might be good at something that I can't do, and vice versa. But we can still help each other, you know.
Absolutely.
And my time may not be now; it might be your time now. I'm still gonna clap
Yeah.
for you. And I just wish people would just help each other more, you know. Just
And
because you're
there's,
helping me doesn't mean I won't be appreciative,
yeah,
or doesn't mean that you're gonna lose out on opportunity. So I'm just grateful that
exactly.
she's been mentoring me.
Yeah. And the pie is so big, we are so
Yeah,
connected now globally, and there's room
literally.
for
There's
everybody.
enough money for everybody
Yeah,
to make, and
absolutely.
the way how social media is,
Yeah.
it's honestly, it's like Russian roulette. Like, you
Yeah.
could be doing your business, you could open your business one week and then you could just go clear the next week, or
Exactly.
you could be doing it for 2 years, 3 years, and then you don't get your big break
Yeah.
until the fourth.
It's all about
So
timing.
it's timing,
Yeah.
and I'm so grateful that it came now, because I know if HoochTeeStyles, the idea was to come up last year, I wouldn't have been ready
Yeah.
mentally. There's no way. I wouldn't have been in the right mindset. I wouldn't have had the right drive. But
Hmm.
I always said to myself, when you're in secondary school and you're like, oh, when I'm certain age, I want to have this. I want to be married. I want to be da da da. And it's like, as I'm gonna be 30 in December, and it's like I'm at that weird stage where I I want to have a lot for myself, but before I had HoochTeeStyles, I was worried, like, everyone's moving on. Like, I feel like I'm stuck. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I feel like I've got no purpose. I want to have a business. I want to have something before I'm 30. And I was really scared that I wasn't going to have anything before 30. I was putting a
Yeah.
lot of pressure on myself. But then
It
God
just came
came
out
and he
of
put
nowhere.
that right in my lap. He
Yeah.
literally put that right in my lap, and literally turning 30 in December, and I've got my own business. So it's
Who knows
time.
between now and December what will happen? So much has happened in what,
Exactly.
5 months? Yeah.
Such a short space of time.
Yeah.
And I honestly cannot thank God enough. Like,
Yeah.
it's at first I was thinking, oh, this is just luck. But now this is 100% God. 100%
Yeah.
God. Because
No.
I think before last year I was really a person that used to think about the 101 things that could go wrong. But I feel like
Mm,
this year has been the year where I've completely just let go and just take
yeah.
things for how it is, and just put my trust in the universe. And
Yeah.
as soon as I've done that, that's it's just been great, man. Honestly, everything has been happening how it's meant to happen, and you know, if it doesn't work out, you go back to the drawing board and you start again. Like, that's just how you gotta
Absolutely.
look at it. But yeah, good things.
Amazing, amazing. So tell me, where can people find you if they want to get in touch with you to collaborate or to book your services?
So I've got so if they want to do collaborations, or if they just want to get some information about HoochTeeStyles, whether that's hairstyle or where I'm situated or
Mhm,
whatever, they can either email me HoochTeeStyles@hotmail.com,
mhm,
or they can drop me a message on my social media platforms: IG, Instagram, HoochTeeStyles, TikTok, HoochTeeStyles. And yeah, just drop me a direct message. My response times are very quick as well.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I'll just get back to them.
Amazing. Nneka, thank you so much. It's been a joy and a pleasure. I've learned so much about you, about your business. I've relived the past, and you've even, educated me on certain things that I didn't know. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me because this is just such a crazy experience. It's just such a heartwarming experience. I never ever in my life did I think I would be doing podcasts and going America to do photo shoot and being in my creative self.
Yeah,
I just feel great. Like I honestly can feel like now I'm a business owner now. Like I
yes,
am a business now. I can say that. I can 100% say that. And it's a nice feeling when you
yeah,
speak to people and they're like, oh, what do you do? Oh, I own my own business. I've got a hair
yeah,
business. It's a nice
yeah,
thing to say to someone. And it just makes you feel proud and just empowered as
absolutely.
well. You don't have to rely on any man to do anything.
Yeah. And
So
trust me, this
yeah,
is the beginning of your journey. I really, really believe that. So I'm sure this
no,
is,
hundred
I always
percent.
say, you appeared on my podcast first. I can always
Oh,
have
of course.
bragging rights.
You was the first to do it. You was the first one to do it.
Exactly. I've got those bragging rights. So I'm sure this is the first of many. So yeah, thank you so much. I'll let you get on with your day now, and we'll connect soon. I will obviously share this with you and the world when it's once it's
No,
and so forth. But thank you so much for your time.
thank you.
Take care. Any
Thank
final
you.
words before we go?
If you want to get hoochified, just go over to www.hootseastyles.co.uk
I love that.
and we can just relive the magic. If you want to live
Yeah.
your hoochie mama alter ego, if you want to live your little Kim alter ego, you know who to
You know where
call.
to come. And I'm coming
You
to
know where
you.
to
Next
come.
90s party, I'm coming to find you.
Yeah, 100%. Oh,
Yeah.
and not to mention that I am doing mobile bookings as well. So
Oh,
if you
amazing.
are in London
Yeah.
and you're worried about, oh, I can't be bothered to go to Birmingham, not
Yeah.
to worry. I do mobile bookings. I've also
Yeah.
got a section on London bookings on my website, so it talks you through how to book and
Yeah.
how the booking service goes. So yeah.
Amazing. I love that. All right, my dear. You enjoy the rest of your day. Okay.
You too. Thank
Take care.
you.
Bye.
Bye.